Welcome back to the White Paper channel. Today we're going to be talking about Moderna's next generation flu vaccines. So our learning objectives are first to talk about how the flu makes people sick, how traditional flu vaccines work to prevent disease, how treatments such as Tamiflu work to treat the disease, and then how Moderna's next generation flu vaccines will kind of be a combination of the two. So on this slide, you'll see on the top left an influenza A virus infectious particle. And you'll see some proteins labeled on the surface of them. And I want to point attention to the HA protein. So this HA protein is what we call hemagglutinin. And its job is to stick to your cells. And once that infectious particle can stick to your cell, it can inject or penetrate itself into your cells, release its contents into your cytoplasm, use your body almost as a factory to make thousands of its own copies. Once it makes its own copies, it will use your own cells to make the materials to package itself up into new infectious particles, as you can kind of see on the top right here. And then the NA protein, which stands for neuraminidase, is what's used to cleave or cut the new infectious particles out into your body. And then it goes on to infect another one of your cells and continues this process. So the traditional vaccination just blocks the hemagglutinin or the HA protein, with the thought being that if we prevent it from binding to you, then it cannot inject itself and therefore you cannot be infected. And this works pretty well. But unfortunately, people do still get sick and they still get infected. So then, go on to the next slide here. So then we have treatments such as neuraminidase inhibitors like Tamiflu. And so as I was saying about that NA protein, you can see in this picture, it's got a picture of what normally happens. You have this infectious particle that begins to bud, and then you see where the neuraminidase will cleave itself so that it can go on to infect other parts of your body. Well, the neuraminidase inhibitor prevents that cleaving action. Now, what Moderna is aiming to do is not only make a new flu vaccine that they can make closer to the flu season so that you get the most accurate strain coverage, but also gonna train your body to make antibodies to the neuraminidase. And I don't want to sound like I'm exaggerating, but this is kind of one of the biggest game changers in treatment of the flu in decades. Not only will they be making the current flu vaccinations obsolete, but they will also make Tamiflu obsolete. The reason they started making mRNA 1010, which was structured the same as a traditional flu vaccine, is that they had to show that they were meeting the hemagglutinin antibody levels. Now that they've added this extra component to it, it will make for a much simpler conversation through the FDA. This will definitely have to go through a phase 3 trial to show that it conveys more benefit, but you're going to see a lot of companies kind of scrambling to come up with a response to this. And in many ways, it's kind of hard to do that because you'd have to go back, do discovery, do phase 1 trial, do phase 2 trial. They've kind of really pulled a major lead in this industry with this product. All right, that's it for today. Thank you guys. Goodbye.